At the end of last episode, in a surprising turn of events, Mr. Cho points a gun at Vincenzo when they finally reach the gold. Mr. Cho promises he is only there to take 1 bar of gold, and he does not want to harm Vincenzo as long as he doesn't move. He looks and grabs a gold bar with the letter D engraved in the back. While he's not looking, Vincenzo also grabs a gold bar and follows Mr. Cho out of the secret room. Vincenzo asks Mr. Cho a shocking question. Do you think the guillotine file is in the gold bar? Mr. Cho is thrown off by this, and Vincenzo launches in for an attack. He grabs the gold bar from Mr. Cho and actually finds the file inside. On Jang Han-suk's side, he reveals his true identity to the key players that he has on his payroll. He even gets them to bid for Babel Tower's top floors, that they can be helpful to Babel in order to get the floors. Suddenly, Director Tae of the International Organized Crime Bureau, aka Agent An's boss, arrives. He seems to have dealings with Babel, and he shakes hands with the new head of Babel. Whoa, did not see that coming. They're all corrupt in this drama. Vincenzo learns that Mr. Cho's gun wasn't even loaded, implying that he probably does see Vincenzo as a friend still. His questioning leads to Mr. Cho revealing that he's an agent for the International Security Intelligence Service, and he's been undercover for a while now in search of the guillotine file. He tells Vincenzo he hasn't reported to his higher-ups about finding the file since he's still debating how to make the most use out of it. Mr. Cho values his friendship with Vincenzo. We learned that when he first went to Italy and ran into trouble, Vincenzo actually saved his life. It's also revealed that the Chinese buyer's death was not due to natural causes. Mr. Cho actually killed him to get his hands on the iris scan in order to get the guillotine file. Vincenzo is surprised by his friend, and frankly I am too. He sold the docile nice guy image so well, and now he seems like a totally different person. As they're talking things out, the plaza residents have rushed home because they finally find Vincenzo's offer to pay for their vacation very suspicious. Taec-yeon calls Vincenzo and warns him. Vincenzo and Mr. Cho frantically try to restore the temple back to its original state, including throwing the gold bar back in the secret room and quickly closing the hatch. When a couple of residents barge into the temple, Vincenzo and Mr. Cho are praying to Buddha. The pretty piano teacher notices that the mats and the flooring under Vincenzo has been moved. The residents leave, and Mr. Cho tells Vincenzo the terrible news that he's put the iris scanning device in his coat, which Vincenzo threw down into the secret room in the frenzy. This means they have no other way to get to the gold again other than forcefully destroying the building. Both men burst out crying while they continue to pray. Afterward, Vincenzo unleashes his frustration on the residents and guilt trips them for not believing in him. Back in the law office, Taec-yeon and Mr. Na are eager to confirm the existence of the mystical gold and are extremely happy to find out that it's all real. And then they're thrown into hell by finding out that the room cannot be opened again. At this moment, the Ulsan and Babel gang are having a late night meeting as well. CEO Han senses that Jang Han-suk will be taking over officially now, and it's better that he falls in line. So he tells them about the guillotine file as a sign of loyalty. Learning that the file holds the power to either destroy Babel or to decimate all its enemies, Jang Han-suk tells them to find it at all costs before anyone else can. Miss Choi is furious with CEO Han since she wanted to handle this her own way. She also warns him about his wishy-washy alliance and how it could get them killed. The next day, Vincenzo, Taec-yeon, and Prosecutor Jeon are watching the news together. There's chaos at the union leader's funeral. A group of people are actually trying to steal the corpse to prevent the funeral from proceeding. Vincenzo notices that the group all have the tattoo of the Twin Swords gang. As you recall, it's the gang that came to terrorize the tenants after the Ant group retired. Mr. Cho is drinking alone in a bar. He thinks back to Vincenzo not holding a grudge for his semi-betrayal and asking that they continue to partner together. And then an undisclosed person comes to meet him. We don't know what it's about yet, but it seems that Mr. Cho is still hiding something. CEO Han has a rendezvous with Chairman Jeon, who expresses how frustrated he is and that his brother is most definitely going to kill him. CEO Han doesn't think that he will, as Chairman Jeon is the only family he has left now, and we think he cares. But in any case, he tells Chairman Jeon to act the dumbest that he's ever acted, so Jang Han-suk will not see him as a threat. That shouldn't be too hard, hopefully. Right away, Chairman Jeon gets himself arrested for drunken behavior, and Miss Choi has to go and bail him out. As he prepares for his inauguration day, Jang Han-suk tells his little brother that he likes him this brainless, even giving him a matching watch as gift. He wants him to continue his destructive ways, but just make sure that he doesn't get himself killed, because he needs him to be the fall guy in case things go wrong. And with that, he steps into the limelight with cameras flashing as the new leader of Babel. Prosecutor Jeon tells Vincenzo and Cheol that he needed the testimony of the union leader who is now dead. Vincenzo tells him that they need to collect evidence their own way. Therefore, we're treated to an elaborate and entertaining plan to expose the new chairman for the monster that he is. They have it narrowed down to 2 targets. First is, let's call him the traitor. He is the assistant to the union leader who betrayed him to align with Babel. The second, we'll call him the loyalist, is a high-ranking executive of Vision Team who is responsible for the demolition projects for Babel. At night, Team Vincenzo disguises as the Twin Swords Gang, supposedly hired by the loyalist to kidnap the traitor. They tie him up for interrogation and act like they're going to throw him in cement. The traitor reveals that the loyalist would send him emails every day with different orders, including putting a stop to union activity. Vincenzo realizes that the evidence they need would be in these email exchanges. They also get the traitor to call the loyalist. The traitor accuses the loyalist of sending people to kill him and asks him for a large sum of money to buy his silence. This ploy successfully pits the traitor and the loyalist against each other. Then they take the evidence from the traitor's email exchanges and give it to Prosecutor Jeon. This gives Prosecutor Jeon enough to bring relevant parties like the anti-union gang in for questioning and to perform a search and seizure of Vision Team. In return, Vincenzo wants something from Prosecutor Jeon before the raid. It's not revealed to us what he wants. This investigation also means that Jo Han-suk, as head of Babel, is summoned for questioning on his first day on the job. Of course, Miss Choi accompanies him for the interview. This is supposed to lead to bad press, right? But since the media outlets are in his back pocket, they distract the public with news of how handsome and rich and talented that he is. Flashbacks show Vincenzo telling Prosecutor Jeon to hold Jo Han-suk for questioning as long as he can, and somehow letting it slip that there will be a raid at Vision Team. Vincenzo hopes this will cause the Vision Team to clean house and move their files off-site. So their goal isn't to get evidence of anti-union activities, but to prove that Jo Han-suk was the one who gave the orders. Back to the interview, Miss Choi is arrogant, saying that she'll get her client out of the interrogation room very quickly. In contrast, Prosecutor Jeon tries to stall as much as possible. And as predicted, the Vision Team gets wind of the raid and starts destroying and moving the files. Vincenzo and Cheol track the employee moving the boxes and intercepts him at the parking garage. Still stuck at the interview, Miss Choi learns of the search warrant for the Vision Team, but that they have handled it themselves already. She gets very smug about it and insults Prosecutor Jeon, not knowing that they're playing right into Vincenzo's hand. He was even so nice to order them takeout. That's the first time I'm seeing an interrogation that provides food. Meanwhile, Vincenzo and Cheol asks the traitor to call the loyalist again, now asking for 2 billion won for the boxes of evidence that they have intercepted from the raid. Finally allowed to leave the interrogation, Jo Han-suk attends a much publicized lecture to give a presentation on his business successes. He's your typical narcissist, though I think he wants to use the newfound limelight to make himself viral, I guess. Vincenzo and Cheol actually showed up to the lecture. They even brought popcorn to the show. As Jo Han-suk excitedly play a video of Babel Motors, it suddenly turns into a secret video feed. It shows the Vision Team leader trying to give money to the traitor to get back evidence of anti-union activities. The loyalist doesn't have enough money, so he is desperately telling the traitor everything he did is ordered by the head of Babel, Jo Han-suk. He's kinda implying that if you don't want to make enemies of Babel, you better give the evidence back. The audience in total shock. Jo Han-suk looks up at the top of the theater and he sees Vincenzo and Cheol. As you know Vincenzo, he never just has one thing up his sleeve. He tells Cheol to watch carefully as he counts down. At the count of 1, a giant tub of red liquid falls on Jo Han-suk, soaking him from head to toe. Another extremely satisfying scene to watch. Vincenzo and Cheol should really take a selfie. Cheol tells Vincenzo that she feels like the mafia in the 60s. On the side, Jo Han-suk's brother Chairman Jeon laughs as he watches this all unfold. He looks up at Vincenzo as well, but unlike his brother who's glaring daggers, his eyes are full of admiration. That was a convoluted, if not entertaining scheme, perfectly executed by Vincenzo and Cheol. I find it fascinating that there are lots of corrupt people in the show that can be easily bought or threatened. At the same time, you have Mr. Cho, who had access to an entire room of gold bars, and he chose to stick to his mission of finding the guillotine file. He could have killed Vincenzo and took off with all the gold, but he didn't forget their friendship in the face of all that temptation. It's not clear yet if he's truly a good guy, but so far, I'm kinda impressed by his actions. What would you do if you were in his situation? Let me know in the comments. And as always, please subscribe and turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next episode of Vincenzo. Thank you for watching!